Well, boys, this is probably a good little time then to move on to our 3 unique activities. So we've all adopted a unique activity into our daily lives, which we have to do 5 times a week that we maybe have done before and we've dabbled in and we want to do it more, or we've never done it before whatsoever, and we've had to adapt them into our lives. Now, they can be mashed in, they can be something we're doing. Do you want to start us off, Con? What is yours, brother?
Well, mine is mainly that I'm cutting carbs, but there's kind of... My main thing was like, well, I don't want to say sleep, because like routine is something that I'm very, very bad at. I live quite a chaotic lifestyle where I kind of frequently like, and because of my job, I'm quite frequently not in bed before 3 o'clock in the morning. And like, you know, it's kind of difficult to get a routine with uni because like 4 days a week, I have 1 lecture. 1 day a week, I have 5.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so spontaneous, uni is too, right? Socially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's very kind of like people are like, oh, you know, let's go and do this. You know, let's go. But the main thing I'm doing is trying to cut out, like I said, refined carbohydrates.
That's the word, refined carbs. That high GI shit.
Yeah, so anything kind of like breads, like pastas. I mean, to be honest, even like I haven't had any rice. I haven't had any potatoes. I've been eating a lot of grains, a lot of oats. It's basically trying to go... I was thinking about this walking here today, right? And the word I came up with was kind of neo-Paleolithic, which doesn't really exist as a term because the Paleolithic era is fucking long gone and I'm not really doing that anyway. But eating naturally occurring things and trying to eat in a way that basically you're not relying on basically anything that's been like properly manufactured.
Right.
So if I wake in the morning and have porridge with milk, honey and some fruit, they're all naturally occurring things, right? In theory, I could grow a grain and get some oats. I could milk a cow. I've done it before. It's a fucking weird experience. I could go to a beehive and get some honey, and I could grow a cherry. If for lunch then I have an omelette, granted, like perhaps if I put cheese and ham in it, that's not quite the same, but egg, like, is something that, unfortunately, I'm lucky enough that some of my family members are farmers, so like, I'm pretty aware of what is natural and what isn't. Like, I've got family who's like, you know, with like my granddad's got an apple orchard out in Ireland, so I know like what it takes to grow shit like that. And or like for dinner, so for like my dinner this week has been a lot of peppers, tomatoes, courgette, bagged salad, which comes in pretty clutch in fairness, because fucking chopping up salad is such a pain in the ass. But like, just trying to eat kind of in a way that doesn't rely on anything that's kind of man-made, but which sounds really fucking pretentious.
No, you're not eating none of that bread the last like 2 weeks in the pantry.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the sort of criteria I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Like natural foods, so like anything that's like unprocessed is good to go, really.
Yeah,
like,
unprocessed.
Obviously, there's like the sort of ones that kind of toe both lines, where it's like a meat, but is also
like
processed.
like a sausage. I mean, sausages obviously don't naturally come in sausage form.
Or like or like a fruit that's been like completely kept for in 5 months in a refrigerator, and it's been like pumped in with like sort of chemicals or something.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's a pretty easy way to view the challenge and keep within that criteria. And as long as you keep within the natural food or naturally occurring food criteria, you should be like pretty well done.
I mean,
you'd be surprised.
That's the thing. If you're cutting that out, and also, but the thing is, one thing I think with your unique sort of thing is not only are you cutting out those type of carb, you're cutting out a lot of convenience. Because so many convenient foods which you can just grab, and even though they might generically,
I can't make anything really quickly anymore.
That's the thing. The general day-to-day.
I can't just whack a pot noodle in.
Like even little things.
As much as I want to.
No, but that's the thing though, right? Like even little things which you think are generically healthy, convenience foods, they're sort of taken away when you're doing what you're doing.
Like Parma ham and stuff like that is a killer for me because I love that sort of meat.
Yeah.
But I know like it's so highly processed.
Yeah.
That it wouldn't actually flow well in the challenge.
What's your unique thing? Remind us of your unique thing.
Mine is it's yogurt.
Now this surprised the shit out of me, right? I thought you were going to increase fish or something in your diet, which you might be doing anyway.
Well, I was racking my brains and I was thinking...
That is something I need to do, actually. That's a really good shout.
I was racking my brains and I was thinking, what on earth could I do? Because you would both come up with yours. I was like, Jesus Christ, what is there to actually do this different? And I was thinking, well, I eat a lot of meat. I do. So I maybe cut that down and focus more on fish. You know, slightly leaner, slightly healthier form of protein. Then I was like, no, that's a bit too bland, I think. And I eat a lot of fish anyway, so I was like, it doesn't really cut it. So then I thought, let's do something that I have never, ever thought of doing that kind of falls in line with the challenge. Like, I've never in my life thought I would ever do yoga. Because, well, one, I don't really care about flexibility or anything like that.
Let me just support that point by saying this man, if you want to watch something funny, before, I don't know about now, ask him to touch his toes.
Oh.
It's
dynamic flexibility I'm okay at.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm kicking or, like, anything like that with movement, then I am quite flexible. But, like, standing still, ask me to, like, touch my toes.
I can't
do it. I can literally
I mean, I've done taekwondo a lot, so yeah.
I can literally just about get past my knee.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
Maybe even not that, I don't know. But, so I thought, you know what, it's very different. It'll challenge me, which is the point of a challenge, really.
Yeah.
So it'll challenge me. It's something very different that I never thought I'd do or ever want to do. And it's been going okay, actually.
How are you doing this?
I enjoy it more than I thought.
Are you doing this at the gym? Are you doing this at home, like online, like finding YouTube things to do? Are you doing your own?
Sometimes I do it at the gym.
Damn.
But I'm thinking, well, I don't want to be in the gym for overly long periods of time.
Yeah.
So I started doing a bit more at home.
Are you like YouTube and workouts to do, or?
Like, there are loads of apps. There is an app called Down Dog. Not particularly sexual.
Me gusta.
It's more yoga based. But
so you're not doing some sort of like funky goat yoga,
no.
or one of those sexy yogas where like.
No, I'm keeping it very basic. My flexibility levels are unbelievably low.
Yeah, mine's
so I'm gonna have to keep it very, very beginner at this point. But there are a few on YouTube, like this 30-day challenges sort of thing. I started off with some of that. I also do like some app stuff. Like, there are loads of good apps that actually like give you like workout plans. You tell them how long you want to work out for, like doing yoga, and they just give you a tailored workout to that.
Do you find you're aching from stretching yet?
No.
You haven't ached from stretching at all?
Like, less
Really?
so. Like, I've never really ached coming from the gym anyway.
Okay.
But even I do feel like so much freer. Genuinely. Only for doing it like twice, 3 times.
Doesn't surprise me.
Now, after I hate it while I'm doing it because it is more difficult than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so. Even as a wee back in the day, the yoga was solid.
No, honestly, like, you use muscles you don't think you're going to use.
Yeah.
And, like, stretching your body more than it should, really. And it, like, actually is pretty hard at the time. But as soon as you're done, you feel fucking amazing.
You
really?
lose.
Like, I'm not even, like...
I might try that.
I'm not even, like...
I have a yoga mat in my room.
I'm not going to say it's, like, life-changing or anything like that. But, like, you do feel very...
You don't have the urge to move to India and...
No.
Separate.
Well, the thing is,
you do feel very good afterwards.
It's almost very low risk as well compared to a lot of other exercises. I know you can overstretch and overextend, but in a stand, you're getting like a very, like, you know, surprisingly difficult workout by doing something which realistically is only doing you good. Like, it's hard to injure yourself unless you're over.
That's what I'm thinking, because it actively complements, like, the workout regime I'm doing. Like, because it's very good for recovery. Like, it will help.
Yeah.
It will help me in the gym, being able to be more flexible, and it's just a mental, like, it's doing something different that is helping me, like, mentally, because I do feel really good.
Meant to be quite good for your mental health, right?
Yeah, it is, because you have to, like, like, I'm not an expert at this at all, but you have to, like, focus more on what you're doing instead of think about loads of other stuff at the time. So it's kind of a mental workout and also a physical workout in a way.
Damn.
And I've gone up, like, from the basic moves now to doing slightly more difficult ones. And
intermediate, baby.
And they are pretty difficult. Literally, you know the one, like, the classic one where, like, your arms are out that way and, like, your one leg's facing.
Warrior pose, right?
It's far more difficult than you think.
Yeah,
really?
Like,
it's holding the position.
And it's not even that. It's getting into the position, because you can't just do it. You have to have moved from one position
it's like
into
flow, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to move from one position into that. You've got to, like, breathe as well and, like, focus on breathing. It's quite difficult.
I don't doubt it. That's why I was so surprised when you did it, because I didn't know it was the last thing I expected from you.
Well, it's like not something I would do.
If anything, it's something you've actively avoided doing, probably, right?
Genuinely, like, I'm an arsehole, frankly, so I would have gone like, yoga? What a load of bullshit. Well, what a load of horse shit, but no.
Is this something you could see yourself continuing after the challenge?
No, that's a different kettle of fish.
Hang on, let's get him on the thin first.
No, maybe. Maybe not every day or 5 days a week, but maybe like 3 days a week, something like that, just as something supplementary to like a workout regime. Yeah. Definitely.
Nice one, but that's a good one.
How's the sauna treating you, Ongzy?
I like this. Well, yeah, so mine's saunaing, and it sounds like a lazier one, but man, it's fucking tough. Like, sitting in a sauna is actually, you think it's easy. It's really not. Like, sitting in 20 minutes at a time when you're watching the timer, it can feel quite painful, bro. I don't know what it is. So I started saunaing with my dad probably from like October time. And we started doing some research into it and like all the health benefits and the stuff. I was like, all right, I'm going to carry on doing this because why would I not? My gym has a sauna, why not? And then I came across the inspiration for this was a study that I came across. I came across it on a podcast, but then I researched it is legit. There's this study, right? And it's done over like 20 years. And it's done over 20 years in Finland. Because they love their saunas in Finland, right?
I do.
And it's something, I think it's like 10,000 people did the study, and it's like over 20 years, and they found that if you sauna at like, I think it's something like 79 degrees Celsius or 180 Fahrenheit, whatever, for 20 minutes, 4 times a week, it reduces over that course all-cause mortality by 40%. Which blew my mind, because I was like, that just does not seem real. Like, it has like 5 years. Like, obviously, doesn't mean anything, but like, the study that came out was like, there's something wrong. I'm not getting the exact facts here, but over 20 years, like the period it was done, the people at the end were 40% less likely to die from any cause than the people who would still didn't sauna, which blew my mind. But I'm not saying that's the reason I'm doing it, right? And the truth to whatever, right? The study, do your own research, whatever you want to do. But it like inspired me, like, right, so this shit must be good. You know what I mean? Like, even the things like coming out, my dad loves it anyway, but he's crazy. He can do like 45 minutes in the sauna. It's wild.
That is alpha dog.
That's
that Instead of downward dog shit, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but that can't be good for you, right? Like, surely there's limits to this type of thing.
No, maybe it just doubles your chances. You got 80%.
I will not die.
If you do it for like a full hour, you've got 100% of not dying.
It's great. Like, I was skeptical as well, that study. I was like, no way, that's legit.
No, it's just the study parameters, to be honest. That
what do you mean?
I'm finding a bit weird. Like, 20 years, fine. How can you, from any sort of mortality?
What if you get shot?
I'm not trying to acclaim this study as the legit beyond and end all, by the way. It's just something I read, which gave me like,
how do they know if they're not literally dying while they're being studied?
Well, it's something to do with the heat shock proteins that you're generating and what they do in your body. I don't want to go into like what the specificness is because I'll butcher it and make myself sound stupid.
Okay.
I'll send you it. I'll get it later. I've got a study.
No worries.
And it's about you generate these heat shock proteins apparently, which like does all this crazy stuff to your body. I don't know, right? It's crazy, right? So I was like, right, well, if I've gone in my gym and I know it makes me feel good, why not give it a go? So I've started like trying to sauna for 20 minutes 5 times a week. And it's fine. I enjoy it. I love it. I guess, it's like anything. It gets easier after a while, right? So your first one, like after 15, you're like, oh shit, this is like, I'm going to pass out. You know what I mean? But now, you can push like 25, half an hour. And it's hard. You don't want to be in there, but it's like, right, I'll bring my water with me. I'm okay. You know what I mean? You conversate with somebody in there. The one thing that I've struggled with is obviously in Wales at the moment, there's restrictions. So you're only allowed 2 people in a sauna at a time.
Okay.
And it's a queue system. So people are doing 20 minutes a pop. And you're queuing for a sauna, which generally, what is usually a half an hour thing, can take anywhere up to 2 hours now. Which just is a big, I'm working all day. That is a big time consumer. So I'm struggling with that a little bit. But that's only going to be for a couple of weeks. But I do find that I ache a heck of a lot less. I don't know what the facts behind it are, but I'm finding that I'm aching a lot less. I'm feeling tired. Like, it draws it out of me because there's another thing that's coming out. I'll send you this as well. Apparently, and I don't know the facts of this, it simulates minor cardiovascular activity. So it stimulates in your body being on a push bike for the same amount of time.
Well, yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah, I'll have to because
that's not particularly unbelievable.
I don't know the stats on that one, but that was the one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, maybe that's why I was saying earlier, like, I need to get more calories in because, like, you're obviously burning a little bit more.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, extreme conditions, like, in general, will boost heart rate.
Yeah.
Because so will, like, extreme cold.
Where's the shower? Yeah, so what we do then, we get out, we give yourself a cool, and then you have your cold plunge, your cold shower. We've got, like, a shower, but it's not a plunge. But that's good as well. And I'm enjoying it, to be fair. It's getting down. There's the big bowl ache sometimes and just queuing for it. But it's good fun. I find that, like I said earlier, it sort of cancels out my water. So if I've drank my gallon and I've drank one of these in there, I feel like that almost cancels that out because you sweat so much and you just come out dehydrated every single time. I don't know what it is, you know what I mean? So yeah, but other than that, it's going really well and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, well, it's another one that I feel like really complements the actual workout routine you're doing.
Yeah.
Because like it's well known that, like, again, extreme conditions like extreme cold and also extreme heat are actual helpers of muscle repair.
Yeah, well, the whole therapy stuff, that's really big now.
My dad wants to try it. I've not tried it. I'm curious to try it.
You know what? I don't know. Which one do you hate more, sauna or cryo?
Cryo.
'Cause I feel like they're both different. I hate the cold more.
Yeah, and also
I think sauna. You can always put more clothes on, but you can't take more clothes off.
Yeah,
that's true. But you have to go into the cryo things literally in speedos.
Yeah, but in my head is that you can just.
I also find cold shock a lot more tricky to withstand than heat shock. Cold shock almost like gets you to a place is like, oh shit, like I'm genuinely uncomfortable as shit. Whereas in a heat shock, you can still talk, you can still, you're still functional. You just feel a bit shitty. But cold shock, you genuinely like.
Cold bear.
Yeah. Really, that's interesting.
With cold shock more though. I feel like heat shock gets worse as you go on. Yeah. But then I feel cold shock you adapt to slightly more. Yeah, like because when you like say you take an ice bath or something, like that first 10-20 seconds is horrid. It's adapting. Maybe even a minute is horrid. Yeah. But then you slightly adapt to it. I feel like in like a sauna or something, you're fine for the first 10 minutes, but then it progressively gets worse. Yeah, you're right. Have you seen that video of Joe Rogan doing 20 minutes in the ice bath on Instagram? Did he? 20, and he videos the full thing, and he comes out, he's trembling like crazy. Yeah, I find that a lot harder to withstand. But if you can get them both in, like if you can get a heat shock and then you can also like get your cold shock in, maybe not immediately after, but then I feel like that wouldn't be good for your heart. Yeah, I was going to say, seems like your body would be so confused. Seems like a one-way ticket to a heart attack. Our friend Jan, who lives in Finland right now, told me that the best thing you can do is sauna for 20 minutes and then naturally let your body cool down, then go in an ice bath. So it's almost going the opposite way. Yeah. And then let your body warm up. Then they do like a social thing. I don't want to butcher what he said to me, but it's like it's giving yourself that recuperation for your body to neutralize in between every time, as opposed to going from one straight to the other, which also makes sense. But I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, it's a bit more tricky at the moment because obviously I've not got a sauna in my garden. Like it's trickier to get there at the moment because of circumstances. But in 2 weeks, that's going to be taken away anyway. So it's like, I'm happy to like take the extra time for the next couple of weeks with it. You know what I mean?